Hello, this is Catherine Reike. I'm a psychic tarot card reader, and this is part 2 of a sample reading on a question on love. I use the Symbolon deck after I've done my reading with the Rider-waite to get additional information. As a reader, you do not have to do this, but I do highly recommend it. It's a great way to really clarify some of the cards. As I've said in other of my videos, while we're discussing the cards with the individual, I am moving these cards in my hands. And I'll generally just have them cut the cards one time. Don't need to have them shuffle the cards. While they are talking and while you're doing the reading, that's when you get the information into the cards. After they've cut it, I lay them on top of all the cards. These cards are only read in the upright position. Now, the first card we have, and this would be for the card that we had about the battles. If we recall, that person was conquering some of those emotional battles. I would ask them, was this you before? Were you somewhat the Medusa? Were you really angry at your man, causing him to, that it was so overwhelming, all the emotions that you had in these battles? And they may say, very well say, as a matter of fact, you know, I probably was. So that's how I would look at this, and I would start asking a series of questions about that card. And now we have fighting, two men fighting. This, to me, shows is a reinforcement to this card, fighting battles. I wouldn't see this card much more than a reinforcement of the first card. This has always been a very interesting card. It's very clear what it is. You've got a man and a woman who are in love, but they're separated by a chasm, and they both are longing to get to one another. So here it is with the Death card and the change. Something has changed there for them. Some maybe emotional distance caused by her emotional trauma that she was going through with the battle. Very, very strong possibility. He may still be wanting the old her back. That may be one way of looking at this card. Then the next card we have is obviously a fool who's getting burned. And that's perfect with this card, isn't it? With the money she was too gracious to the point of it hurting her, to the point of foolishness. And I would say, well, that's fine, because we know from being in this position, which is a position what's leaving you, you're learning your lesson, and that is changing. Darker card. This is like the Lover's card in the Rider-waite, but you can see the darkness. They're chained together. You got the devil behind them. They're both unhappy. Relationship that is not good anymore for a couple. Now that is in this possibility realm of that partnership that we talked to before. I'd start asking questions, does he really want you in this partnership? Are the two of you together just because it's comfortable and it's habit anymore? Or the possibility exists that your relationship could degrade into this type of a relationship, which is very possible from the two cards that we see, the King of Cups and the Knight of Swords reversed. Oftentimes, cards will have multiple possible meanings. And we have the female version of Narcissus. She's looking at herself in the mirror. This is also finding oneself and being content with oneself. I see this as his love kind of turning perverse and not as supportive, because she is coming into herself and seeing the beauty in herself, which I'd say is possible because of the making the changes in herself with the death and what have you, these changes. Maybe she gave him a lot of money. Maybe he's living with her. That happens enough. And he doesn't have a job, and she's supporting him. Okay? We've got the Greek messenger. Someone's going to be delivering a message. All right? And that is here. Not real clear right off the bat what that means. When that does happen, don't worry about it. Just move on. The next card here, a couple, relationship, but they're being talked about is really what this looks like. Maybe in a judgment, society looking at this couple. This was the Queen of Wands. This is what has influenced the situation. In addition to the mother or another older woman not being supportive of the relationship, maybe others on the outside too are saying, geez, what are you doing? Next card, King Lancelot, when he's visited in the forest after his injury over his love. How would we see this with the indecision? Maybe it's almost a spiritual change for the person, or that's what they're hoping for. By making a decision, they will evolve spiritually. And last, and isn't this the beauty? And this will happen so often. The Knight of Swords. There he is. The mirror of this, or the King of Swords. We read these always upright. This man has the potential. He is a smart individual, very smart, but he's perverse now. He's using it to harm others. So why I use the Symbolon deck is that it reinforces the meanings of these cards and can give additional information if it's needed. That's all. Thank you.